Let's talk about Uber, the app that made hopping into a stranger's car feel normal. In December 2016, college student Jessica C. ordered an Uber to the San Jose airport. What should have been a routine ride turned into a nightmare. She alleged her driver sexually assaulted her during the trip. The trial that followed became a bellwether case, a test run for hundreds of similar lawsuits against Uber. Jessica's lawyers argued Uber's safety measures were inadequate, claiming the company prioritized profits over passenger safety. Uber's defense? They're just a tech platform, not responsible for drivers' actions, since drivers are independent contractors, not employees. The stakes were huge. The outcome would influence hundreds of other cases and set a precedent for how ride-sharing companies are held accountable. The courtroom was tense, with both sides painting starkly different pictures of responsibility. For Jessica, and many others, the case was about more than money. It was about trust, safety, and whether tech giants can be held to account. The legal world watched closely, knowing the verdict would ripple far beyond one woman's story. This wasn't just about one ride gone wrong, it was about the future of passenger safety in the gig economy. Would Uber be forced to change, or would the company's legal firewall hold? The trial's outcome would answer that question, and shape the fate of countless similar claims. In the end, the case was about a simple but powerful question. Who is responsible when trust is broken? The answer would have consequences for millions of riders everywhere. After 3 weeks, the jury delivered its verdict. Uber was not responsible for the assault. For Jessica C. and other victims, it was a devastating blow. The jury accepted Uber's argument. They're just a digital middleman, not liable for drivers' crimes. This verdict gave Uber massive leverage in hundreds of pending lawsuits, making it harder for other victims to win or even settle. Safety advocates saw it as a setback, reinforcing the idea that tech companies can dodge old rules and regulations. The decision told ride-sharing giants their business model, minimal oversight, maximum profit, was legally sound. For many, it was a chilling message. Holding platforms accountable is an uphill battle. The shockwaves from this case will be felt for years. Jessica C.'s case is part of a much larger, troubling pattern. Uber has faced thousands of lawsuits over passenger safety, especially sexual assault and harassment. The company's own safety reports revealed thousands of assault claims, proof the problem is widespread. Plaintiffs aren't just seeking money. They want Uber to overhaul its safety practices, better background checks, real monitoring, and effective complaint systems. The core issue? Uber's business model relies on independent contractors, letting the company profit while dodging liability. This model leaves both drivers and passengers vulnerable. Other ride-sharing companies like Lyft face similar lawsuits. The industry's structure is profitable, but at a real human cost. The legal fight is about forcing these companies to take real responsibility for safety. The central question: should Uber be responsible for what its drivers do? Plaintiffs argue Uber controls drivers like employees and should be liable when things go wrong. Uber insists it's just a tech platform, not a transportation company, and drivers are independent business owners. This distinction is everything. If drivers are employees, Uber's costs and liabilities skyrocket. That's why Uber fights so hard to maintain the independent contractor label. The Jessica C. verdict affirmed Uber's legal firewall, at least for now. The battle over responsibility is far from over. So, what now? The Jessica C. verdict makes it harder for victims to win in court and emboldens Uber to keep fighting. But this is just one case. Other juries, or new laws, could change everything. Public outrage and legislative action may yet force companies to prioritize safety over profit. This case highlights the urgent need for real accountability in the gig economy. When trust is broken, "not our problem" isn't good enough. True safety must be a core principle, not just a slogan. As ride-sharing becomes part of daily life, we must demand more than convenience. We must demand safety and accountability, because a safe ride home should never be a gamble.